folks, how's everybody doing on this beautiful day? Rudy, Timmy's Emporium, 3rd floor, basement next to the 4th Nut Pretzel Shop. Yeah, we're just gonna have a conversation. Sit back, sort your own cards, relax, enjoy life. Don't forget, dig a hole, go pretend you're a carer for 5 minutes. Seriously, clears the mind. We got some eBay purchases. If you're bored and you want to price check anything you see in this video, these are all from eBay. Actually, some beta 10s. First time in a long time been able to actually acquire some PSA 10 beta cards. I got 1 or 2 in the last 6 months on eBay. That's really about it. These just not a lot in the open market. And when they pop up, usually it's a bunch of memes and people like me putting them on there for like 10 times the price just to get attention. Also, we got some more Flesh and Blood cold foils. I want to comment on what's going on with that market. It's been a little strange. Discussing with some patrons how we noticed that the supply has been just some really weird behavior. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's bamboozling Fugazi fairy dust or if there's something bigger going on. So first, let's start with the Mujit the Uglioli as we poke your stepsister in the washing machine stuck in the window on the taco store. These particular cards over here, out of all these, the one I'm most excited about is probably going to be the old Ankh over here. Mostly because I just always... Golly, can't even see the card, sorry. Mostly because I always felt that these were just a really underappreciated card. It was really, really cheap for a long time. Similar to cards like the Hive. Pirate Ship's always been a cheaper one, but Raging River's always been a little bit more expensive because it wasn't revised. Island of Wacky Whack, I mean, you can only do the old Whack Whack so many times, you'll take a break for the day, but not one of my favorite cards. It's just, I don't really have much to say about that. Mostly I want to comment about beta, though. Usually right now, the hot topic is obviously going to be revised. Obviously, everybody knows alpha cards are ridiculously rare and ridiculously expensive. It actually turns out they were a little bit more rare than we all had originally anticipated. I guess we all thought there was 1,100 alpha rares, and I guess some data came out that's actually a couple percent lower. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But beta's kind of in the weird spot in the middle. It's a little bit cheaper, obviously, than alpha, but it's not as cheap as unlimited. You know... It's kind of that middle child that's stuck in the middle here, you know? They've gone up in price, but it hasn't been exponentially compared to Alpha. And Unlimited is kind of really where a lot of the action is. And of course, Revives is the flavor of the year because they were kind of the penny stock that was real cheap and now became real expensive because there's just opportunity. You know, I mean, you can buy a bazillion revised rares for a couple dollars a piece. So literally for, $1,000, you can buy a brick of revised rares compared to buying one alpha card or maybe 2 or 3 beta cards or maybe 5 or 10 unlimited. Many people chose to go the route of buying, 200 copies of revised rare, which only time will tell how well that price point's going to hold. Just remember the biggest bearish and negative sentiment of revised is going to be the supply. That's always been the thing. And there's a lot of stores and people out there similar to my situation where we have tons of revised that we've never really gone through. And, learning that, how do I say it? Certain revised cards have gone from, $2 to 20 to 40. Suddenly you really care about those cards. But beta's a weird thing. Beta was never really my personal favorite. I'm not really sure of a good way to say this without coming across kind of slanted. But beta was always the mainstream black bordered original set. Because obviously, for the longest time, you couldn't play with alphas, and unlimiteds were the dirty, white border. We hate the white border because, again, back in the day, without sleeves, the white bordered cards. I don't have one next to me here. Here you go. Hold on, grabbing one off camera. The white border cards, would always get just really, really, they would turn yellow. They had dirt on the edge. They would always just age very, very poorly. So people always preferred the black border cards, hence the Sharpies and touch-ups when you get wear. So I just wanted to share. I thought that was kind of an interesting... nice little bit of a beta. I actually don't have a ton of beta PSA 10s, believe it or not. That's why I've been kind of slowly just trying to find a few. I never really focused on them, seriously. So that's kind of my opinion. I still think the fast money, the penny stock thing is still going after revised. I think the whales are still going after alpha. I think unlimited is starting to get more attention. I think beta is kind of flat. I don't really see a lot of, I don't see these, hey, Rudy, I'm buying these cards. They're going to go up 2, 3, 4, 5x. Even today, you can go on eBay and see I did the best offer thing, got it 10% off the price, but overall, I don't see a lot of tremendous upside on the beta cards right now, but at the same time, I don't see a tremendous downside. I think they're going to kind of just consolidate sideways, and you may see a couple percent upticks, but nothing really extreme. Maybe 1 or 2 cards have a pending huge news break on a particular card, but overall, the cards as a whole aren't going to move much. So that's kind of my random rambles. Not the greatest video here today, but another thing is really weird. Another small transaction here with a bunch of Flesh and Blood cold foil cards. Mostly commons and rares if you want to kind of just see what they look like. Sorry, I know in the sleeves you can't really. So, I mean, really nothing too dramatic on here, but I will kind of give you guys kind of an interesting insight of what I see going on as far as the cold foils. Here's a little letter here. I thought this was kind of a funny story. Rudy! Thanks for buying these cold foils. I hope they continue to go to the moon, baby. I enjoy the game very much, and I don't need these fancy ones to play. The money will be put into good use, like buying Monarch when it finally arrives. Love the videos. Thanks. Thanks, William. Appreciate it. And do you think the POG market is ready to boom? The POG, you know... I'm going to be honest with you all. At this point in life and time, what a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't appreciate the craziness and what a time to be around in this world, if you're a collector or an investor in collectibles or the stocks or crypto, you're not paying attention, because what a time to be alive. I mean, this has got to be more than anything. I just think it's fun. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, and you can make a meme about it. The probability of the POG market, of POGs or Beanie Babies, actually having a resurgence is greater now than it's ever been in the history of POGs and Beanie Babies. I'm going to say it. The reason for it is money is just going anywhere. Money is just like a lost little puppy looking for food. It is just scavenging. It is looking around for any opportunity in anything. So in 2021, 2022 moving forward, until we see a slowdown or maybe a small recession or a cool off or God knows whatever's going to slow us down in the world, at this point in time, with Marvel cards going to the moon, every class from the Pokemon to Flesh and Blood to Magic the Gathering to Yu-Gi-Ohs, hell, the Weiss, the Final Fantasy, Digimons, Dragon Ball Super, I mean, everything is booming. I mean, it doesn't matter what game it is. However good or bad you feel about the product, they're all booming. Everything's going to the moon. So, which again, historically, times of extreme, euphoric, easy money, historically, that means we're near a top. And when everyone's making money and it feels easy, historically, this is the time to start getting concerned, and we are near a top where eventually the world's going to have to, quote unquote, reset or reprice lower. I just want to lay that out there. But in an era with crypto booming, memes like the Dogecoin and the doggy stuff, you know, memes like Marvel cards, memes, you know, all these goofy things that are going up in price, whether you like it or not, you know, I actually think it's a realistic chance that Beanie Babies and Pogs are actually going to make a resurgence or a comeback. Now, whether I think it's going to be complete bamboozle, which probably will I get behind something like that? Probably not, but I'm going to make videos, and I'd love to see something like that happen because it'd be a lot of fun to watch. But I don't know how it's going to settle out. I really don't know. But I can tell you at this point in time, you cannot rule anything out of what is possible to happen in this modern era. Because we are in uncharted waters, ladies and gentlemen. Anything can happen. Absolutely anything. I mean, if Marvel... I had literally a patron asked me to buy one of my Marvel boxes he saw in a video a couple years ago. Then I paid like $40 for the box like 5 years ago just because I want to have a couple boxes because I played them as a kid. Literally the dude's like, hey man, I'll give you $1,000 for a box. I was like, what? You understand, when it comes to Marvel, there are literally stores and warehouses out there with literally cases of this stuff just sitting there. Just laying it out there. Laying it out there. Sorry, let me get back to the Flesh and Blood thing real quick. The POG thing threw me off. We've noticed a couple interesting trends. I know we're like getting towards the end of the video. No one's watching anyway, so this is a good time to really go back to this Flesh and Blood thing since it's going to have like literally 1% of the viewers. I want to comment first on the cold foils, then I want to comment on the sealed boxes. Yes, there seems to be a very strange reduction in the quantity of cold foils for sale. I don't know specifically what's causing it. What's going on? If it's people just pulling their listings down because they want to keep the cards. I don't know if there's another quiet whale coming in playing Metal Gear Solid and he's trying to be all, you know, Secret Snake over here, trying to just slow drip cards out of the market. I'm not sure what the catalyst is right now. But there is definitely something going on. I don't know where they're going, why the quantity of even common to rare. I mean, Crew, WTR Arc, whatever it is. Hey, look, I just realized there's actually, I got one of each on there. I've never had the actual pairing one. It's like the Zephyr Needle. Never had the, that's cool. I don't know. There's some sort of movement going on. I don't know if it's an individual, a store, someone building inventory, somebody speccing, somebody getting ready for the Monarch drop in the spoiler season to start in a couple weeks. I'm not sure what the catalyst is. I honestly don't know. But I want to be on record. We have two possible scenarios. That's it. Number one, Monarch comes out, first edition's a hit, Unlimited's a hit, the game continues to grow, player base expands, prices across the board for all categories because of collateral damage. It's like a ripple in the water. All the single cards, all the cold foil, all the boxes rise in price because you have an expanded player base and people joining the game, new to the market. It's like coming into the crypto world, coming into anything. When new players and new blood comes in and they don't have anything, they start building their positions. Okay? If that happens, everything across the board will continue to rise. Very realistic. Even the sealed boxes. You think $4,000 for an alpha box? You think $1,800 for an ARC box? You think $800 for a crew box is a lot? You ain't seen nothing, kiddos. Now, option number two, the bear case. Monarch comes out, overhyped, buy on the rumor, sell on the news. Monarch comes out, successful, doesn't really matter how good or bad the product is, and the market sells off into the news. The old buy the hype, sell the news, which is a Wall Street thing, which happens a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised if people are going to do that. Right into the hype of Monarch's launch when people are losing their minds, that's a very real chance that we see actually a price drop across the board. People, because there will be, I promise you. I don't care if first edition Monarch boxes on launch day are $500 a box or $99 a box. It makes absolutely no difference because remember, in social media, in 2021, eventually, whatever it is, the overall hate mob and pitchforks, they will turn on you. You have to mentally be prepared for that. Doesn't matter if you give it away or you charge $1,000 a box, it will happen. It is just the law of law. You throw the dice every day, eventually you will crap out. And that's what we're doing here. So eventually, there's a very real chance that the wave of negativity, the anger, because, a collectible item, it gets expensive. That kind of thing can have a grip and cause damage to the game short term. So if that takes the direction, I expect that we could see a retracement down in prices. Crew boxes could go from $800, maybe back to $600. ARC boxes first edition could go from maybe $1,700, $1,800 back to $1,400, $1,500. And then again, if prices drop too much, then you get to that, it starts attracting, it's like me. If crew boxes go back to that $300, $400 range again, like they were just sitting and people were just unloading, I finally was able to build a good position in crew after my second wave, filling all the leftover orders, replacing damaged boxes, blah, blah, blah. I was finally able to go on the open market and start absorbing and building a position to get back to that nice $500-$600 boxes. And I think that's great. Now, do I think crew boxes are going to go back down to $300-$400? Probably not, because the market knows now. That's why I made a video on it. Because even patrons were contacting me saying, this doesn't make sense. As a store, you could literally just buy all the $300-$400 boxes, open them all, and just sell singles. Yeah, and that's essentially what I realized. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to start buying them on the open market. And if the prices keep going lower, you can literally open the boxes and just flip and sell singles and build an inventory. Or B, just keep them sealed away from the market to turn. It's out of print. There's only so many out there. No matter what the market thinks, that the facts remain. Natural attrition is going to take care of the rest for us. It will hold our hand. We will exercise through the park. And eventually, as we all know, you will drift upwards. So that's really where we're at. If we have the bear case, and Monarch boxes come out at, I don't even know, $237.41. How about that number? They come out at that price. People are angry. And the price drops to $150, maybe even $125. I have no idea. So, because I can tell you right now, if prices start dropping and tanking like that, not only would I be willing to actually start buying some because of the expected value is going to become inverted on first edition boxes because of the cold foil. Trust me, when you have that inverted EV, it will not stay. I assure you that. No matter what, when EV is inverted, you have arbitrage. If I can open a box of cards and always get $300 plus, and then when I hit the Fabled and a certain legendaries, it's 500, 600, 800, or thousands, and you can buy the box for 100, 200, I assure you, market arbitrage will take place. What's to stop someone from buying 1,000 boxes at $200 a box, cracking them all, averaging out 400 or 500 a box, and just nuking the market and just buying them all, selling all the single cards, keeping the cold foils? I did it with Magic back in the day. Mass box openings. I literally used to order, 600 boxes of Khans of Tarkir. Opened them all, sold all the single cards, sold all the fetch lands, kept all the foil cards, including stacks of foil fetches for free. Same concept can apply with Flesh and Blood, especially first ed boxes, because of the cold foil lottery. That is a very powerful, heavyweight thing that always is like a rubber band. It's always pulling upwards. So and most people are more paper hands, weak-minded. They will be weeded out on any downturn or short-term market noise. And that breeds tremendous opportunity for people in any category to move in and make huge moves. Look what happens from the vaults. Suddenly, I make a video and say, hey, by the way, anybody notice? You can buy a sealed from the vault Legends for 140 bucks. And the cards inside of it are worth 300 and plus. It's like, so I could just keep buying $140 items and turning into $300 bills. Even take off 15% for shipping and fees. Okay, you can buy 140, turn into 250, rinse and repeat. Gee, what a terrible business. And I believe moving through to Monarch, there is a chance we have that, folks. That's the whole point of my rambles there. There's a real chance that we do have that negativity really grab a hold of the market short term and do a little shakeout. And remember, as prices fall, just like on Wall Street, the fear will build and people holding on to the product, or maybe they have it on a credit card, 30 days no interest before the next payment. Those people are going to get very nervous. The anxiety is going to kick in, and they're going to list their boxes and undercut the previous person. The next person is going to go, oh crap, this is below my cost basis. I better list my boxes below that person. And it creates the falling knife scenario. That's what happened with Crucible of War. And that's really the difference between a lot of amateur investors and people who have just done this crap from, I hate to say it, but people who've done this stuff their whole life. Because, look, it's like, like the Throne of Eldraine collector packs I got. I offer them to patrons at the beginning, and at case pricing, special deals, stupid. Like, it was like $169 for like a 12-pack collector blister packs equal to a box. $169. And the market price at the time was like $230. And now a Throne collector box is like $300. And now I get bombarded with people wanting them, even at a higher price. But it shows, even when I offered it previously, at the beginning at a reduced price, nobody wanted it. Because market perception was overly negative. And market perception skews and blurs the long-term vision of how wealth is created or transferred and really, blossoms. And that's the difference between most people, the Timmy, and the people long-term who just make fortunes. And it's a very difficult thing for some people to see. And for other people, it's a little bit more clear. And for some people, they spend so much time analyzing, if they're able to make a blurry thing and they're able to clear the fog and they're able to see through it because they just spend a ton of time really doing a lot of just analytical work. And that's a very important thing. So that's really the bull and bear case for Flesh and Blood here. Obviously, I'm still, I guess we can do some movement on camera since we were just talking here. Obviously, I'm still accumulating some cold foils. I'm trying to build a nice position here. Nothing too crazy or too exotic, but I'm still paying attention on the first edition cold foils. I just want to leave the video with this final comment, everybody. Another variable that's very inverted that I look at is I monitor the negativity towards the game, how the Magic community is attacking the game and myself for shilling and other people. And I go to other channels that are dealing with Flesh and Blood, and I take a look at what their comment section is. Is it just Rudy's comment section that people are just memeing and getting angry over Flesh and Blood and thumbs downing? Or is it all channels showing Flesh and Blood? And I will tell you, as the negativity cools off and Flesh and Blood gets less negativity and becomes more acceptance and more acceptable in the marketplace, I actually consider that a bad thing, because that means more people are actually on the same page. Have a good day.